Now the strawman fallacy is that when you take someone's actual argument and then you substitute or replace it with the distorted, exaggerated or misrepresented version of the actual argument, and instead of responding to that actual argument you respond to the misrepresented version of the actual argument. Now let's suppose that Dr. Muni present his argument and I change it I changed the connotative meaning of it. Now if you don't know what a connotative meaning is, it's the positive or negative shade of a sentence or statement. So I change it I misrepresents it, and then instead of responding or attacking Dr. Munir's actual argument, I attack the misrepresented version of the argument, and then I claims his argument to be false. So let me show you another example. Now let me introduce you to Ms. Maheen and Mr. Muhammad Ali. Now Ms. Maheen is of a view that advertisement for cigarette encourage underage smoking often has negative consequences. Therefore, advertisement of cigarettes should be banned from TV. Now you can see that is her first premise, that is her second premise, and this one is her conclusion. Now you can see that all she wanted is to ban the advertisement for cigarettes on TV. Now his response to her argument is something like that. First of all, he misrepresent her conclusion and made it into something like this: what you want people to quit smoking. Now you can see she never said that. She never wanted people to quit smoking, but he misrepresented her actual argument. And now instead of responding to this one, he responds to that one, which and he responds like this. He says that people have been smoking since ages and smoking is an addiction, so the people will never going to stop smoking. Now you can see that responding to this one is pretty hard, but responding to this one is not very difficult. So he made through misrepresenting her argument, he made it easier to attack. Now it goes like this. It goes something like this. She gives the actual argument, which we are going to call the position X. Now he misrepresented this actual argument, which we are going to call the position Y. And then instead of attacking the position X, he attacked the position Y, which is the misrepresented version of an argument. And then he claims the position X false. So that's the strawman argument. Now you might be wondering that what is the strawman, why we are calling it the strawman argument. We are calling this argument a strawman because he is not responding the actual person's argument. Instead he is responding to a strawman which he created by himself, or he misrepresented the actual version of argument and created a strawman, and then he attacks the strawman instead of the person. So that is the strawman fallacy. So now let's move on to the slippery slope fallacy. If one thing happens or is allowed to happen, then that will lead to other steps and ultimately to a final and undesirable outcome. Now let's suppose that you propose a proposition which is based on no evidence, no valid reasoning, but based on your assumption. And because you propose the first proposition, and based on this first proposition, the second proposition also came out. Now the third proposition also came out, which you cannot avoid because it is coming out on the basis of second proposition. Now let me explain it. Let me put it in that way. If event A occurred, or if you let the event A happens, then the event B also happens. Now if if event B happens, event C also happens. If event C happens, event D also happens. If event D happens, event E also happen, and this goes on and on and on until we get into some point where there is where we cannot go any further. So so that is the slippery slope. Now let me give you another example. Suppose your teacher is saying to you that if you don't study on Saturday, which he is assuming and letting the event A to happen, then your grade will suffer. If that happens, you will not graduate. Then you will have to live on the street and you will become homeless. So now you can see studying not studying on Saturday can cause you to become homeless. And I can also go on from E to F. If you will become homeless, then you probably will be starving, and you have nothing to eat. If you have nothing to eat, you will die. So now you can see not studying on Saturdays can cause you death. Is this logical? No, it is definitely not. It is illogical. How can studying not on Saturdays can cause me death? So you can see it goes on and on and on, and you can see there is no in all of these proposition or premise, you can see there is no evidence. These all are just assumptions of the teacher, that he is saying that your grade will suffer if that happens. And now how can he says that? I mean, I can study on other days. I can study on Monday, I can study on Tuesday, I can study on Wednesday. So that is just a fallacy. That is not a valid argument. Okay, so that is the fallacy of slippery slope. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and hope you all have a great day. Okay, Allah Hafiz.